All right, welcome everyone. Today we're going to be chatting about something that is continuously evolving, something that, as I'm sure you all know, is becoming more and more prevalent in our society, in the tools that we're using, and the real estate industry is really no exception to this. And so we're going to be talking about AI or artificial intelligence, and specifically what tools are agents using in today's market? How can you use AI to streamline your business, assist in your day-to-day operations, and how can it make your life easier rather than being this daunting entity? And so with that, I will turn things over to Kathy. She's got a great
Yeah.
presentation today, and then we should be joined shortly by Dee as well. So as always, if you have any questions, we'll be having Q&A at the end and a little bit of discussion as well. If you also want to just keep track of your questions as they come to you, feel free to utilize the chat as well. And so with that in mind, Kathy, the floor is all yours.
Thank you, Ela. This is one of Dee and I's favorite topics to talk about. Like, we could easily go down the rabbit hole with this one. So this might be too much information or it might not be enough, but we're going to have multiple rooms on AI, just so you know. Okay, so let's talk about just the history of AI, or actually the importance of AI. I felt like this quote was really powerful. So real estate agents who are not paying attention to AI are putting their livelihoods at risk. Powerful AI tools are already transforming residential real estate, and forward-thinking agents are paying attention. The news is that the early adopters will thrive. This was a recent article that I actually found on the NAR website. I just wanted to share that NAR has a whole web section on AI and AI tools and how it's affecting real estate. I encourage you just to check that out. Welcome, Dee. Okay, so the history of AI, I could not talk about, the tools without at least giving a brief overview of the history. You might find it surprising that it's actually dates back to the 1950s. That's the birth of AI. AI was officially founded at Dartmouth in 1956. It was Alan Turing. He introduced the concept of machines thinking. That was the Turing test at Dartmouth. In the 60s and 70s, we had early development. So in 61, there was the first industrial robot, the Unimate, that introduced. In 1966, we had ELIZA, an early natural language processing program. It was created then. And then in the 80s, we had the rise of expert systems. So programs designed to mimic human expertise in specific domains. In 87, Al Winter reduced funding and interest rate due to unmet expectations. In the 90s, we had revival and progress. So IBM in 1997, they brought Deep Blue out, and it defeated the chess champion at the time, Garry Kasparov. That was just in 97, right? And it's been fast forward ever since. So we had machine learning introduced then. From 2000s to present, that's considered modern AI. So in 2011, IBM Watson wins Jeopardy. I don't know if you remember that, but that's what happened then. In 2012, there were deep learning breakthroughs, like AlexNet wins the ImageNet competition. In 2016, Google's AlphaGo defeats Go champion Lee Sedol. That was in 2016. 2020s, advancement in generative models like GPT-3, GPT-4, and widespread AI applications since the 2020s. It feels like it's been a while, but it's only a few years. So it's going fast. Okay, generative AI. Let's talk about the different models, right? So generative AI, explain that the generative AI creates new and original content by learning patterns of existing data. So it writes articles, it creates digital art, it composes music, and then virtual assistants can be developed using generative AI. So popular tools are like GPT-4 for text generation and DALL-E for image creation, if y'all are familiar with that. Large language models. So these are advanced AI systems that process and generate natural language with high accuracy. They're trained extensively in data sets, allowing them to understand context, nuance, and intent in human language. Examples are chatbots. We're going to talk about those later. Automated customer service, content summarization, language translation. So, of course, there's a lot of benefits to these, right? Content generation, enhanced communication, efficiency, creativity. It's just amazing. So our MEL is an example of large language model. And Dee, do you want to just say a little bit about the development of MEL? You were key with that. Oh, we can't hear you, Dee.
Am I muted? Check, check.
Oh, I can hear you.
Good morning, everybody.
We're all good now, Dee.
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, to Kathy's point, about a year ago, plus or minus, we started really looking at the efficacy of AI in the real estate space. And at that time, a lot of companies hadn't even introduced AI into their real estate model. Some were thinking about it. Like many of you, many agents are still afraid of AI and what its capacity and capabilities are. But we definitely leaned into it. So we started to kind of look at what a platform would be and how it would function for not only our agents inside of the brokerage, but for other agents in the space. So we started to really train Mel, and that involves lots and lots and lots and lots of data. And Mel is still learning right now. But those of you who've used Mel is an amazing tool for just simple and complex questions about transactions and things like that. And I'm going to do a very specific room about Mel and its uses. But yeah, we really wanted to be the first to market with a dedicated AI platform meant to assist you in terms of clauses for offers and just a large real estate data set so that it can be used to help you through your day-to-day function. And that's what any tool does, is it really helps you to level the playing field and increase and enhance your knowledge. So
yeah, thank you, Dee.
Sure.
Okay, so types of tools that we're going to talk about, and we're giving an example. There's a lot out there. And I was saying earlier, Dee, that we are going to have multiple rooms with this topic because there's so many tools out there for real estate agents.
Absolutely.
So types of tools, predictive analytics. We're going to talk about chatbots and virtual assistants, CRM systems, property valuation, market analysis, image recognition, and more. So predictive analytics. So one of the key applications is predictive analytics. It leverages historical data and algorithms to forecast trends and make accurate predictions. So we can use AI tools to analyze market conditions, evaluate property values, identify investment opportunities with greater precision. And we can harness the power of these tools to make better, more informed decisions, better decisions, mitigate risks, and optimize strategies to stay ahead in the competitive market. So Zillow is an example. They use AI to understand their extensive historical data, and they can break it down into categories and trending for reporting. Revaluate is a prospecting tool that integrates into your database to determine who is next to move. It's really cool. RPR has integrated with ChatGPT to help you craft personalized market trends like video scripts, engaging social media content, and detailed metrics analysis. And it also uses AI for pulling people in your farming geographic area, like your neighborhood, who is most statistically inclined to sell their home in the next year. Like that, it can tell you these things. It's really cool. So chatbots, here are some examples here. Of course, the benefit is that a chatbot is open 24/7. So we don't have to be. And you don't have to be like hooked up to your phone when you're with a client. You can have a chatbot take care of some things and then pull, give you the very best leads that come in, and structurally can take it one step further and make appointments for you. So while Lopo has some features that, they're doing things like this too, they're enhancing, but basically it enhances your client interactions and increases your conversion. Okay, CRM systems. So, of course, let's talk about how this actually works. So data ingestion. So AI CRMs actually collect and centralize data from various touch points. They ensure data accuracy and usability. They clean it up and organize it. They analyze the data to just identify customer segments and predict behaviors. There's automation of tasks that reduces the manual workload, freeing up your time for other things. They can give you personalized recommendations for marketing campaigns, things like that. Real-time insights based on your dashboard and reports. Customer interaction they can utilize chatbots in this too for efficient customer engagement. They can improve efficiency, saving you time, reducing errors. With automation, they can provide a deeper understanding of customer behaviors. They can optimize lead follow-ups, enhance customer satisfaction. I mean, the list goes on, you guys. And I could add more tools to that list, but Boomtown and Follow Up Boss were the two that popped up first. So I wanted just to feature those. But there's just a ton you can do with AI and CRM systems. And I'm going to actually dive into it more in a little bit. Property valuation. I mean, it's like the race for how accurate you can be. And so House Canary, they boast that, their AI property valuation tools have a error range of 0 to 3.6, which is really low, right? I'm not sure how they can actually really make that claim, but the idea is that AI can minimize errors. So this is really great for realtors and just residential clients, but also it's great for commercial investors. And I'm going to talk about that in the next slide, other tools for investors, because they're looking at it in a different way, right? So what House Canary does, you can simply look at a house and know most factors affecting its value within seconds. You can have an accurate understanding of the home's value and you can make a better decision. So it's like instant tool. It's an instant thing for you when you're on the go. I could think of a lot of ways that would be beneficial. So here's the investor tools. So Local Logic and Enodo. I wasn't very familiar with these two, so I wanted to dive in for you guys and just give you a synopsis here. So the benefits is neighborhood data, market trends, and demographic info, right? So here's a case study for Local Logic. So a single family rental investor is looking to understand how location can impact the sales price of assets within its portfolio. So through a portfolio analysis by this AI tool, the client can gain more insights into which factors affect sales prices, allowing them to better assess investment opportunities. They can use a predictive model alongside location characteristics and property features so that investor client can see they're able to set sales prices for their future purchases. So it's just a tool to manage their portfolio. So with Enodo, so this one eliminates the need to build complex custom Excel modeling templates. And you can perform a detailed cash flow analysis for any apartment or multifamily property in any market. So it automatically distributes rent and expense growth over the redevelopment period to provide an accurate financial analysis for each of these complex value-added opportunities that you put in there. It's pretty darn cool. So the model includes a real estate development pro forma model. So you can easily phase in a renovation over up to a 5-year renovation timeline. This is all really cool stuff here because it leverages detailed like refinancing and exit scenario modeling. So you can instantly see the impact of different refinancing on an investment potential. Image recognition and enhancement. So there are a lot of tools out here for these, but here's just a couple that I wanted to highlight. So REST-B AI. So this is an example. This image right here is what they do. So when you look at a property photo, your mind instantly understands a wealth of information, like what room is it? It's the kitchen. What materials are used? What is the condition of the property? Is it expensive? Et cetera, et cetera. So now imagine if you had all those insights just in an easy to consume format for every single property in the market. That would be pretty awesome. That would take out the need to like preview every property for a buyer. You could just kind of go through and see what does this have in seconds. It's pretty awesome. So Home Jab is a similar idea. There's like, virtual home staging and things like that. And it just is better than how it was like 10 years ago. It's just better with AI. Okay, this is a good one, right? So virtual tours and augmented reality. Dee, please chime in if you want to on this one.
So augmented reality has been around since the early 2000s in the real estate space. As Kathy's talking about, Matterport, which is a 3D camera to where you could take a 3D perspective of a room and give a potential customer more depth and more insight into the property itself, was a big thing. But we all know in the early stages it was clunky and pictures looked strange and didn't give depth and dimension. And with the introduction of AI into those products, I mean, it's seamless. It literally gives you that true immersive experience. That it's absolutely the way of the future. As a matter of fact, an app, and I'm trying to think of who the developer is. I think you've all seen those augmented glasses. I actually have an augmented laptop, an augmented PC laptop. But the way the glasses work is you're in constant communication and receiving information without having to look at your phone screen. It's in the glasses itself. But augmented reality in the real estate space is truly a game changer. And with all the things that have happened with NAR, as Kathy said, you really want to start to embrace this technology. This is literally going to be the next. This is your present and your future.
Yes, absolutely. Cupix, I'm not familiar with Cupix. I had to look that one up. That one is really for builders and for like owners, right? They want to make the right decisions using spatial digital, like a 3D spatial platform to figure out, like, if I renovate this kitchen, what is it going to look like? If, for builders also to really develop what they're going to do. Okay, smart home integration, Nest and Amazon Alexa and others. There's plenty of smart home integration tools here. And it's really awesome because it doesn't have to be just a brand new build, right? But I think that is a draw with a lot of people wanting new houses. You can retrofit older houses to still be smart with different things like the Nest, which is the smart thermostat, or their smart appliances. Amazon Alexa can link into your lighting system, and the whole thing can be voice activated, which is super cool. Dee, or anybody else, y'all use this stuff in
my
your
entire house? I was just going to say, I am so wired. And I get frustrated. You know what's funny is when you go somewhere to someone else's house that doesn't have it, or a hotel or something, you're talking to no one. You're like, Alexa, I'm not at home.
You don't know how to act, right?
You don't know how to act. I use it for everything, and the convenience alone. I know a lot of people get concerned about privacy, but I'm going to say this for the record, and you can quote me: privacy's dead. Let's be honest. We're such a connected world. Privacy is long since sailed off to another world. So
it's true. And in the last conference I went to for Texas Realtors, they were talking about just those smart doorbells,
Mm-hmm.
the Ring, and
Mm-hmm.
security implications with that. So basically, the end result is that be careful of what you say on properties when you're walking through and showing a buyer. Just be careful. Maybe don't even say anything.
Excellent point.
Don't even
Excellent.
talk.
Yeah, you're walking up to the door and you're going, I don't know, this house looks like crap, but
I
we'll just,
know.
and the seller's looking at you on the cameras.
Exactly.
Great.
Or don't stand outside of the front door and negotiate with the
Yeah,
buyer. Like, just don't
right.
do it. Talk
Good.
in an office or somewhere else. Okay, so document automation. So DocuSign and Acrobat Pro, these are two that have just really jumped in fast with the AI stuff. And it's pretty cool because there's things like text analysis and extraction. So in an agreement, AI can find like certain clauses, terms, and contract details if you're looking for that. It just saves time. You can do that, but yourself, but it saves time. The automatic tag placement is pretty cool for digital documents. You can set up contracts really fast that way. Agreement analysis, so you can identify risk points, blind spots, and opportunities. It can create a searchable index of agreements from various sources, like say enterprise systems or your file repository, that sort of thing. So contract summarization is another really awesome tool here, or feature. You can simplify complex agreements into clear summaries and highlights. I love that. That is really awesome. I've been playing around with that. Identity verification, so you can remotely verify, AI can remotely verify a person's ID and live status within minutes. So it can definitely help in those instances. I mean, lead generation and scoring, we could have a whole conversation just on lead generation. There are so many tools here. And some of the tools I've mentioned before fall into these different categories. But
I love
basically,
the fact
yeah,
of AI for lead gen. I mean,
yes,
we spend so much trying to collate and decipher what markets we may want to target. And if you have a particular price range that you want to incorporate in your business or a particular demographic, AI is absolutely something that can gather that data for you very quickly.
yeah, it's awesome. And that's the whole point with AI. It's accurate and it's fast. So it saves the need for you sitting there just, almost analysis paralysis. If you're doing too many things at once, it can just speed you through and then you can get back to earning. It's really awesome. SEO and marketing automation. So I put HubSpot under this category, but really it could fit into a few other categories. It basically really helps you eliminate repetitive tasks. So a lot of things are in development right now for HubSpot, like the AI chatbot, content remix, brand voice, AI powered guided prospecting, AI powered guided selling, AI generated podcasting. Isn't that awesome, Dee? AI assisted reporting. I mean, there's just so many cool things that are coming.
Yeah, AI podcasting, that is very cool.
I know. I got to look into that. That's coming soon. And then there's more planned. HubSpot's really diving deep into all of this. So, yep, there you go. Optimize online presence, manage campaigns, improve search rankings. It's all about getting front and center. I think we're all like this. We look at a website, and if it hasn't been updated in like a year or so, you think they're out of business, because that's simply how fast we all move. You can't just have a stagnant website. You've got to have some things. And again, I could talk more about just how AI can help you with blog posts and get your SEO up and running that way. Keep it current, keep it fresh. You really should be doing these things like every week. So that's my spiel. And we are open for questions or comments.
I have a couple of questions, Catherine.
Yes.
Thank you, and Dee, for putting this on. I mean, I was told recently, if you're not using AI brand in your business, you're probably on MySpace and have an AOL email.
I think I heard that too.
That's hysterical.
So I said, what's wrong with MySpace? Anyway.
Exactly.
But that's so overwhelming, and my mind exploded when you said the first two sentences. And there's so much, to do, and I'm trying to rebrand myself, and where you come up with relevant content, consistency, and with the best execution methods. Once you kind of get dialed in with that, it's like, okay, who's going to do this each and every day for you, or whatever. My biggest overriding question. So someone doesn't reinvent the wheel. You want to differentiate yourself as an agent, right? Is there a central facility or an individual, a company that's recommended that could take a look at your business and get rid of MySpace and everything that you're doing wrong and say, here's some basic things we need to incorporate right now to use AI in your business? And let's start with branding, let's just say. I pay a lot of money right now to Sir Hant, if you know him, Ryan Serhant.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just suggestions, but without someone really doing a deep dive, taking a look at what you're doing, your demographic, your focus of business. That's where I go sideways. I don't have someone to really stop and take a look at my business, because like everything you just listed was very germane, very astute and right, spot on. But to try and integrate that into a daily life and a routine, for me anyway, I'm not a mental giant, but that it's extremely difficult.
Yeah.
I kind of think it speaks to we hire other people in our businesses because that's not our area of expertise, and certainly AI is definitely not anyone's, at least anyone in my range, area of expertise. It might be a good idea to hire somebody for the management of it, because your job is a whole different job, which is to be in front of others, and
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's
But,
what I'm talking about. I
yeah,
want to hire someone, I want to find someone that in my space, that specializes maybe in real estate, that could put it together.
So they're probably 12 or maybe 13 now. I'm pretty sure they're somewhere in that range. Kids or young people grow
age
up.
12.
Yeah. Young people. I mean, this is definitely their wheelhouse. So, the new, are you familiar with a service called Fiverr?
Oh, sure.
Fiverr, Fiverr is excellent for anything, and literally, you have a lot of opportunities with folks who are offshore, because again, this is something they do every day, and
That's a good point.
they're very versed in it, and the cost is much lower than someone who's trying to make their whole nut on just you. That might be a way of finding someone. Kathy and I will do a little research too, and have the team do some looking to see if there may be someone who can really address what you're at.
I forgot all about Fiverr, and that's a great recommendation. I'll go and look at them. Versus, is it Workspace or
Upwork.
Well,
Upwork? Yeah, Upwork.
There's a place called Upwork.
Okay, thank you very much.
I think that's a business opportunity.
It is.
You think?
It absolutely is. Yeah. I mean, it's a pivot. It's but that's the thing, is things are coming at light speed. Just even from 6 months ago, because it's a collective now. I know back in the mid 2010s, 2015, 2016, somewhere in that range, when they really started to revive AI and say, hey, how can we use this in more day-to-day things and less scientifically driven, and how's its functionality going to progress across real estate or business lines and such. And now that we're all conscious of AI and everything it does, there is so much money poured into AI. It's crazy. I mean, everybody, every corner of the planet, including areas that don't barely have internet, are investing in AI. So, to find someone who's, as you said, Brandon, really proficient, is kind of a task, because you've got to define what it is that you want to use the AI for. Obviously, Chat GPT, or what is it now, GPT-O, Kathy, or GPT
4.0.
4.0, GPT 4.0, which is something I use every day. If I'm just looking to put together a simple letter, sometimes I may involve that. And that's such a low cost. It's what, $25 a month or something like that, somewhere in that range. But really kind of embracing, how it's used and understanding how you want it to function in your business. That's going to be the challenge, I think.
Thank you.
Yeah. My first thought was use Chat GPT to figure out where you need to be as far as AI.
Brandon, have you played around with it? Have you played around with Chat GPT or any of those?
Yeah, I'm on. I'm on the free version, just the Chat GPT, and which is overwhelming for me anyway. But it's just also, what questions do you ask it the best scenario for you?
That's where I was leading to. So,
Yeah.
Are you familiar with prompt language and personas?
No.
Okay, so with AI, and I really learned about this last year when I was helping in the learning aspect of Mel. It's all about personas. So when you talk about large language models like ChatGPT or OpenAI and things like that, it basically expands or expounds on what you tell it, or what you teach it. Just like a child would, or just like another person would. It gains knowledge based on how you. So when you talk about a persona, you could say act as a forensic accountant and evaluate what the national deficit is, in order to upright the country, something like that. And literally, it now understands you want me to be this very detailed, accountant, or an actuary, or whatever it is, to where it now understands what it needs to respond to, and so it begins to query that kind of thing. And then within that persona, you can give it more and more instruction. So you want, like, let's say you were describing a person, Brandon, and you're talking about prompt language. So define yourself every time you go into Chat GPT, or there's actually a button to where you can do a drop down and create a persona and save it. So then it always will act as that persona until you assign a new persona to it. But then you go in and you're very detailed, and then so you're already acting, let's say, as a real estate broker or real estate agent, and you're typing in, I have a customer who's wanting to buy a replacement home, but they need the money from the sale of this home, but can't sell this home and need to get their replacement home right away. And you're giving very detailed instructions, and it will actually craft a viable scenario for you to present to your customer. But the secret of prompt language is as detailed as possible. If you wanted something, let's say you wanted to create a tone of a letter, you'd say the letter needs to be soft and friendly and needs to be engaging, and the letter needs to act on very specific data without offending anyone. It's all about the detail. So prompt language was a game changer for me. The second I learned about it, I just threw my hat all in. I'm like, okay, what is this prompt language? Tell me more. And I consumed it. And then, obviously YouTube is my go-to for everything these days. Watch a dozen or 12 dozen YouTube videos, and then the next thing you know, you become very proficient at prompt language. So it is really all about the detail in the language. And just as if back in the day when we still use typewriters or pens and pencils, to where you're writing a story, you want to give a visual landscape to the AI product, so that the AI really kind of goes, oh, I get it, I see what you're talking about, and boom, it spits it out on the other side for you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
De nada.
And to your point, and I'll leave you alone. When I've played with it, and you're right, I have to be very detailed. Like I'm a, 84-year-old broker, and I'm doing this, that. And I go, first of all, why are you in business, Brandon? But it'll give you, as you were saying, it'll give you 5 paragraphs. You can say, well, put that into 1 paragraph. Now introduce humor.
Right.
Now I'm from UK, and whatever it is, it's cool. Thank you.
Yeah, the other thing is, like, after it spits out something, rather than, it'll, let's say, is this, do you like this? Yes or no? Recreate it and do another version of it. You can ask things like, and again, you want to really create that persona, and you want to be very detailed in your persona. That way it automatically knows you're being this person. But then you can ask it things like, is that all? Have you been very thorough and complete with this explanation? And it may say things like, oh, you're right, I forgot about this, or this is additional information that I would add to it. So it continually appends itself, based on you asking it. So think of it conversationally, as if you were talking to me or Kathy or Ela or anyone, and you're saying, hey, so, I heard about this thing. And then the more you ask questions, the better it learns. So, stupid, no question is too small. You want to just question. That way it starts to understand and learn. And if it's within the framework of a persona, every time you go in, it's going to really look at the historical conversations you've had, and it's going to draw from those and include, current data and information. So that's really kind of how you get Chat GPT to be your best friend, and do the things you can do. There's other things you can do inside of Chat GPT as well. Like if you click on the Explore button, it will give you all of the programs that were developed by third-party people or just individuals who think it might be useful, because it's open source. So if you click on Explore, there's lots of additional free tools that can kind of save you time and effort, because people have already created what you're looking for. So now all you have to do is just ask it, and it'll do what you want, including pictures. So I don't know if you knew this or not, you can also let's say you've got a picture of the front of a house and you want to pretty it up a bit, even though you're going to say in the MLS, this is a rendered photo, whatever. It will do exactly what you want. Change paint color, change roof style, all of the above, just from a photo. So there are lots of tools inside of ChatGPT to where you're not having to build it from a raw state.
Does anyone else have any questions? All right. If there's nothing further, then why don't we go ahead and wrap up for today's session? Like Dee and Kathy both said, we will be doing numerous rooms on this topic. There's always more information, more data to be digested surrounding AI. And so as soon as we have the July calendar all set and ready, it's still mid-June, but we've got some exciting content in terms of AI coming up later this month and then next month as well. So stay tuned, and we'll be sure to see you all next time in rooms. Thank you everyone so much. I hope everyone has a great rest of their Wednesday, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.